Hey everyone, welcome to the Raw Reset and to another fabulous raw recipe. If you're new here, I'm Amber and I'm on a journey to lose 100 pounds utilizing the raw food lifestyle. So I ran a survey on my channel and there was a clear winner of what you guys wanted to see on the channel, and that was spaghetti and meatballs. So that's what we're gonna make today, some spaghetti and meatballs. So I'm going to go over all the ingredients with you guys so you know what goes into the recipe, and then we'll get going on making our meatballs first. Okay guys, so for the recipe, we're going to need some nutritional yeast. We're going to need some balsamic vinegar. We're going to need some coconut aminos. We're going to need some onion powder, some garlic powder. Now, you can use whatever seasoning you want. I found this little seasoning here. It's a mix of Italian herbs and spices with no additives in it, and McCormick makes this. So this is what I'm going to use, but honestly, you can use any Italian seasoning you want to, or you can use a mix of like oregano, thyme, all of those. Some sun-dried tomatoes. We're going to need some beets. Now we're going to juice these beets. These are organic beets. I'm going to juice these and use the pulp from the beets. We're going to need to grate this carrot. We need some flax meal. Now this is the dark flax, so we want to use the darker one so that it just resembles, helps with the color of it. Some olive oil. Now, if you don't do oil, you can omit this. That's totally fine. And a garlic clove and some soaked walnuts. Now, this is a half a cup of soaked walnuts, and this has been soaking for about 3 hours. So let's get started on our first step of the meatballs, which is going to be juicing these beets. All right, guys, so I've thoroughly washed my beets and I put them in a bowl. I'm going to chop them a little bit and get them juiced up, and then we'll move on to step 2. And we're putting all the greens in there with it. Those are really, really nutritious. And no, I don't have a Nama. I have a cheap Amazon juicer that just keeps going, thankfully. Okay guys, so I've juiced the beets. Now we need half a cup of the beet pulp. So this made quite a bit of pulp. So I'm going to try to measure this out here. All right, so that looks about a half a cup. Now you can juice less beets if you want, but I wanted to make some beet juice as well. So I have my beet juice and I cut this with a little bit of water. So delicious. Very earthy. All right, so next step is going to be grate our carrot. So we need about a half a cup of carrot as well. So I've cleaned the carrot obviously, and we're just going to grate it up until we hit about a half a cup. So it's going to be the same ratio, beet and carrot. All right, that should be about enough. All right, so that's good there. So we're going to put those two in a bowl. So next you're going to pulse the walnuts with the garlic. And I always use my little mini food processor, but you can use a regular one, whatever you have there. This one is so handy though. I'll link this actually below if you want to get one. Okay, so next we're going to put our walnuts and our garlic clove in there. And that was 1 garlic clove. and we're going to pulse it until it's coarse and crumbly. All right, and that's what you're going for there. Now we're going to mix the walnut and garlic in with the beet and the carrot. Okay guys, so I added the walnuts to the mixture. So now we're going to add the rest of our ingredients and then mix this up very well. So the first thing is 2 tablespoons of dark flax meal. We're going to add 3 sun-dried tomatoes, and we need to chop these up. Now they sell the julienne kind, and you can totally buy those ones too if you want, that are already cut up. But I'm going to cut it up even smaller than the julienne. Now this is sun-dried tomato in oil. You don't have to do the oil if you want to just soak the other ones. But I'm going to cut this up pretty fine, like minced sun-dried tomatoes, so that they're well mixed up. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 1 tablespoon of coconut aminos, 1 teaspoon of balsamic. Now, if you don't do vinegars, you can not add this. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of olive oil. Now, you don't have to do the olive oil, but it helps combine everything really well. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of onion powder. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then we're going to do about two tablespoons of any seasoning that you want to do. And I'm using the pizza seasoning by McCormick. I will link this below if you guys want to find this one. But you can use, like I said, any Italian seasoning you prefer, or you can add regular oregano, thyme, all of the seasonings by themselves. All right, we're going to give this a good mix. Okay, make sure it's all well incorporated and mixed up. Now we're going to let this sit for about 10 minutes. Let me give it a taste first before we do that, so that I can add anything additional if it needs it. It needs a little bit of salt. Otherwise, these are so good. All right, so I'm adding a little bit of salt there. Give it another taste. That is perfect. All right, so we're going to let this sit for about 10 minutes so that flax can kind of thicken in there with all the other ingredients. And then we're going to roll them into balls and put them in the dehydrator. Now we're going to roll out the meatballs onto a dehydrator sheet, and they're going to go into the dehydrator for 115 degrees for about 4 hours. They might need to go a little bit longer. It depends on the texture you want the meatball. So we're going to just grab a little amount here, about a handful there. All right, guys, so that made about 9 meatballs. So into the dehydrator they go, and I will see you guys in about 4 or 5 hours. Okay guys, our meatballs are almost done. So we're gonna work on making a very, very easy marinara sauce for our spaghetti. And then we'll do some zoodles. And then by that time, our meatballs should be finished and we'll put it all together. So this is a super easy marinara. You do need a blender. Now I have one little cocktail tomato left, so I'm gonna use that up. So just gonna put that in there. Then I have these organic grape tomatoes, which I'm gonna put about half of this container in here. All right, that should be good. And then some sun-dried tomatoes. We're gonna do 3 sun-dried tomatoes. I'm gonna do some fresh basil, 2 garlic cloves, and a date. All right, and we're gonna blend this all together, and that will be our sauce for our spaghetti. And then you'll need to taste it to adjust for salt. It does need some salt. All right, we'll give that another taste. That tastes delicious. All right, so I'm gonna whiz this just a little bit more to get it a little warmer. And then we'll work on getting our zoodles done. All right, you guys, so we're ready for our zoodles. I'm gonna get those put together. I have a yellow squash and I have a zucchini. I'm gonna peel both of these, and just so the peel isn't on them for color purposes. You can leave the peel on if you want, whatever you desire. But I'm going to zoodle them into our bowl, and then by the time we're done, our meatballs should be done, and we'll put it all together here. So I'm gonna get these peeled and zoodled. I use this little tool here. I found it on Amazon. It's super handy and it's super easy to clean. It makes the noodles perfect, so I love this. So I'll link that below as well. Okay guys, so our meatballs are finished. They look great. And our zoodles are all done. And so we're just gonna pour some sauce on this. This couldn't be easier. We're just gonna pour some sauce. Some marinara. Now the best part, time to taste. All right, so I'm gonna grab all this, get a big chunk of the meatball, get some of that sauce. Here we go. That is delicious. I think you guys are gonna absolutely love this recipe. And please put in the comments if you guys try it and let me know what you think. I think this one is a total out of the park banger recipe. It is so good. And what a great raw dinner idea. And thank you guys again, whoever voted. This is amazing. Again, thank you so much for watching my channel. Thank you for supporting me on this journey. I hope you guys give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video. God bless you guys.